Hi, everyone, and welcome to this 10 Minutes with, as we speak to the wonderful Alex Levy, founder of Live More Offline. Alex kindly delivered a session for us during the pandemic virtually for our members at the PA Forum. And as the excitement builds and we lead up to our conference on the 15th of June in Solihull, it's amazing to be able to spend these 10 minutes with Alex just to get to know her a little bit more and about the content that she's going to be delivering for the conference this year. So, Alex, how are you?
I am doing fantastic. Thanks, Dan. Much, much better than the slightly more drizzly weather that we've got behind us.
Oh, bless you. So obviously, we had the chance, some of our members had the chance to get to know a little bit more about you during the pandemic. And I can imagine that since that time to where we are now, things have skyrocketed for you, particularly with the world of virtual and hybrid working. So tell us a little bit about you. What's your background, Alex?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. So I guess where I come from is I started my career at Deloitte, a former corporate accountant, and then moved into working at FTSE 100, FTSE 250 head offices. I bring that kind of lived experience of being in a fast-paced corporate world. But what happened for me is I had a moment where I decided that my relationship with always on working and technology was a little bit out of balance. So I moved out of the role that I was in, and I actually took a break, walked 500 miles across Spain on the Camino. And on that walk, I became really curious about the impact that digital habits had on my well-being and on well-being in society. So I then started master's research with the University of Aberdeen, looking at the impact and the evidence behind the impact of technology on workplace well-being. These things all then collided into a career change, and I set up the digital well-being consultancy, Live More Offline, before our pandemic times, helping companies to create healthy relationships with tech. Then the pandemic came along, we all moved online, and suddenly what Live More Offline has been working on has now been propelled to the heart of people's strategies. And we've worked with some of the largest global organizations to help them to create healthier ways of working from a digital perspective.
That's amazing. I mean, to drive that forward pre-pandemic as well, where so many people we have some companies that were doing a lot digitally, particularly the more global companies, because obviously they would be having meeting environments. But we, like you say, we were forced into this kind of online world where it was automatic responses, really quick responses needed, action plans and crisis management, etc. And it was completely overwhelming for us all. And when you even think back to that time now, it's mad to think that we even kind of went through that. But then to come through the other side and working in partnership with the University of Aberdeen, which is fantastic, you must be seeing now some absolute changes across all the different sectors.
Yes, absolutely. So people were propelled into these ways of working. We were firefighting. Lots of different people came up with different ways of trying to make remote work. We ended up with an explosion in different communication channels, different patterns, and digitally overloaded. So the data shows, the amount of Teams messages increased, our working days lengthened, the amount of time that we were spending checking messages outside of the typical 9 to 5 increased. Because we all thought it was going to be temporary. But actually, the reality is that this is now something that we have to create an intentional way of working going forward, because hybrid is the future. So that's the change that I've seen, is that organizations are now looking at their ways of working and saying, what can we put in place and how do we define and help our people to understand how to work in a healthier way, in a more productive way, and also address rising concerns like loneliness in remote work and also inclusion. So this tapped into the very heart of the biggest challenges within our people strategies. So that is definitely the change I've seen.
Yeah, awesome. Obviously, when we meet in June, you'll have even more information, which will be fantastic. And I think, our members always say, we really encourage the executive and business support community to get out of the office for the day and spend some time on their own personal and professional development. And I think having this information to be able to take back into their offices is something that I think will be really important to HR, really important to the wellness teams, really important to the senior leadership teams when they're coming to make decisions around employee wellness and sustainability as well, because like you say, it's sometimes not sustainable. So it's about creating that amazing working environment that encourages people to be the very best that they can be. And I think when we spoke, Alex, I said to you that we'll have some people that are probably new to the role. We'll have some people that are managing teams of PAs either in their offices or globally. And I think looking at a digital wellbeing strategy is something that's really important. So without giving too much away about your session, can you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be covering off in there and kind of the tangible things that people will be able to take back with them?
Yeah, definitely. So what we will be looking at is how your digital ways of working, your beliefs and behaviors can impact well-being, performance, and loneliness within teams. With these insights, we're going to give you some practical tips and takeaways to be able to start that positive change. The productivity gains, can be significant. How productive teams are in remote work is not about whether they're working remotely, it's about how they're working remotely. So we're going to start with looking at some of the evidence here in a really fun and engaging way, because that's it. Making it engaging is the key to behavior change. So there we go. You'll come away with insights into the impact your digital behaviors have and how you can harness small changes to digital habits to improve well-being, performance, and human connection. We'll also give you a sneak peek into our digital culture diagnostic, which companies can use to be able to understand their people's experiences and be able to make data-informed decisions as well. So super exciting.
Fantastic. Thanks, Alex. And just to round off our 10 minutes together, just tell us a little bit about some of the projects that you're working on at the moment and what sort of the response has been from some of the businesses that you're working with, and how, if anyone wants to connect with you before the conference, how they can get in touch with you.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. So our digital ways of working goes to the heart of so many challenges that organizations have. So a few examples. One, I've been working with a charity that wants to move from a 5 to a 4.5 day working week. And they put in place workshops around digital productivity to set their teams up with more productive ways of working. And then they're running our diagnostic halfway through their 4.5 day week trial to then be able to understand how their people are experiencing remote work, what changes they can put in place in the second half of the trial to make sure that trial is a success. And it is the impacts are fantastic. Seeing the feedback coming through, 100% of people believe that their productivity will have increased going into this trial. So that's one aspect. If you're looking at moving to a 4.5 day working week, are you putting digital productivity into the heart of that? But also we work with early careers teams to bring digital habits, digital beliefs into your early careers program so that they are actually giving your people the skills they need to succeed in a digital future. And we also have leadership programs and keynote talks as well, so that you can raise awareness or affect change within key populations. So those are a few things that we're doing at the moment. But if you want to get in touch, then you can follow me on LinkedIn. You can connect at alex@livemoreoffline.com, and also check out our website, www.livemoreoffline.com, and I'll be really happy to speak about how you can take forward a healthier digital culture.
Amazing, Alex. We can't wait to see you in June. Thank you so much.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Thanks, Alex. Have a good day. Thank you.